Hi, my name is Judie VanKooiman, and you're watching Life Issues. This month's show is about the Rest Stop Ranch Respite Retreat Center, and my guests are Mary MacDonald and Edith Heyck. Welcome, both of you.
Welcome.
Thanks, Judy.
And Mary, I'm going to start with you. What is the Rest Stop Ranch Retreat Center?
Well, Judy, it's a vision in action. We quite don't have the town's blessing yet to be a true center with a sign out on the front. So we are just hosting people at our home free of charge with 4 different programs available with individual support for caregivers free of charge, group support for dementia caregivers that's free of charge. Our Memory Cafe is free of charge, and our Sunday stroll once a month is free of charge. So it's how we see it. It's our service practice spiritually to our community. Many people have some way that they do service in their community, and we're doing it through Rest Stop Ranch.
Great. And when did you start this, and why?
Well, I began with a website only in 2010. RestStopRanch.com. I became a certified yoga instructor at Kripalu Center in the Berkshires in 2010. And I was passionate about teaching other caregivers how to breathe, how to relax. And at that time, I had free podcasts on the website, 2, 5, and 10-minute guided relaxation podcasts. And that's how I started.
And why did you start it?
Why did I start it? Well, like many other dementia caregivers, I had health effects after caregiving and during caregiving. I had no idea at the age of 35, which I was 10 years ago, that caregiving could be bad for my health. When you sign up to take care of a family member, you're doing it because you love your family member. And that family member has probably said, I want you to be my healthcare proxy. I want you to be making my decisions. And you feel a sense of responsibility and a sense of love and a sense of duty and honor to be taking care of your family member. And for me, it was really, I wanted to be taking care of my family member the best that I could. I gave up my corporate job and a 6-figure paycheck to take care of my family member.
It's dedication and love.
I had no idea that if I wanted to be an A+ caregiver, that it could put my health at risk.
Okay.
So Rest Stop Ranch got its name from my own practice as a caregiver. I had to proactively tell myself to stop and rest. When I felt my stress level just getting to a level that wasn't healthy for me, I would say, okay, Mary, stop and rest. And sometimes that would mean I would need to walk away from my loved one, go into a different room, practice some deep breathing, and then be able to come back to my loved one in a more restored, fresh way to manage the care in a better way.
Okay. And Mary, what is dementia?
Well, dementia is an umbrella term for a variety of different disease processes. What I've come to understand is most of the people who have a type of dementia are living with an Alzheimer's type of dementia. And that's hitting people later in life. and it has stages, and it's more predictable than the type of dementia or degeneration that my mom suffered. My mom suffered a type called fronto, for frontal lobe, temporal lobe, brain degeneration, and she died at the age of 67. And that's common for people who suffer a frontotemporal brain degeneration. Typically, they're experiencing that between the age of 45 and 65. This man here in this photo, John Hanlon, we just lost him last year at the age of 54.
Oh, man.
And it's just so hard on the middle-aged family or family caregivers. And that family had teen children at home. And
Sad.
it's really, really much, the FTD type of dementia is much harder, according to the research literature, on the family than other types of dementia, which is, part of what makes it more complicated.
What are the signs of dementia that your mom had?
Well, with my mom, it was so confusing. My mom was a elementary music educator for 36 years, and she had a very bright, bubbly personality. She was very social. She was in a bridge club, a golf club. She led programs for her peers to go see performing arts in downtown Syracuse, where I'm from. She was full of life. So when I saw her kind of pulling away from some of these activities, she began tripping, actually, was one of her signs. I heard that she almost fell on the golf course, and her golf club people were concerned about her. And that ended her participation in the golf club. Then in her bridge club, I think something happened, like she really couldn't keep track anymore of whose turn was it and what were the plays and all of that. But more on a personal level, I noticed her becoming just more depressed. And I was really confused because she was only 65 or 60, 62, 65, in that range, when we really were seeing some symptoms. I thought my mom had late onset mental illness of some sort, and I wasn't sure what was causing it. Yeah. Those are some of her signs and symptoms.
Okay. And Mary, what is your mission?
I have two causes that are near and dear to my heart. I founded Mary Mac Missions as a single-person LLC in 2010 because I knew I wanted to be a speaker and author to teach other caregivers how to stay healthy. And if you visit marymacmissions.com, that website is all about how the caregiver can take better care of themselves. I speak for groups, and I lead workshops with caregivers, again, teaching them skills based in yoga that are free for them to do at home. And I'm such a proponent for teaching people skills that they can use to stay healthy, that are free, that don't have any other side effects, like some medicines might have some side effects. So that's one of my missions that's really close to my heart. And the other, at Rest Stop Ranch, in addition to these programs, the real priority in our 4-acre property is to make wheelchair accessible gardens. And we have made already 1/10 of a mile loop that is wheelchair accessible. And every year we improve upon it with our guests coming and giving us feedback, and we make little incremental improvements upon it every year.
That's nice. Good. And what is your role at the retreat center?
Well, I'm the owner of the property with my spouse, Carl Ackerman. And I'm really the face of the Rest Stop Ranch. I direct all of the programs, and I facilitate all of the programs, and lead all of the outreach with Edith, who is really, helping us with outreach. And I do some of the grounds, but Carl is really responsible for the grounds. That's his hobby, and he loves it. It's a great therapeutic release for him.
So you mentioned your sidekick, more or less, Edith.
Yes.
So Edith, what is
Hi.
your role and what is your title?
My role at Rest Stop Ranch has been since 2010 when I met Mary. I'm her graphic designer. I work with her to design all of our work, including our logo and signage and different advertising pieces to bring consciousness and awareness to the programs. Mary hasn't mentioned, in fact, that she's an interfaith chaplain, and that this is her mission as well as Carl's. And although I'm deeply involved in all of the programs, and my mission is caring for Mary. She cares for everyone,
So somebody has
and
to.
I'm there to
Aw.
support Mary and Carl as best I can in their vision.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have manager of Rest Stop Ranch on her name tag, but she really manages me. And,
Well, that's important.
yeah.
Yes. What are friends for?
Exactly. And it has been 8 years that we're
Yeah.
together.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Good. Good for you guys. And it seems like it's a good match and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. And Edith, what is the Memory Cafe?
Well, a memory cafe is actually a relatively new movement that's going on in not only the United States, but the whole world. Since 2015, Rest Stop Ranch joined a percolator network that is organized by the Jewish Children and Family Services in Waltham. And we came to see them along with other people. There were only how many years was it, Mary? I'm sorry, I lose the date. 5 years we've been doing.
Yeah, 2015, we were the first 10 memory cafes in the
That's
state
right.
of Massachusetts.
The first 10.
Cool.
So we were meeting there in Waltham, and there were only eight or 9 people in the room. Now there's 30 people in the room and 30 more people on the Skype.
That's cool.
Mary, I'm
That's
going to
right.
describe just for a moment in case the listeners don't know what a memory cafe is.
Yeah,
And in
that's
fact,
great.
Definitely.
it's a social opportunity for and networking for the caregivers. It's the caregivers that are exhausted and isolated. And so a memory cafe is a location where a caregiver can bring their person, and the caregivers get to network. And there are activities. They can be drumming, they can be drawing or dancing or storytelling. And it's just an amazing experience. The Rest Stop Ranch is, in fact, the only memory cafe in the whole United States that's located outdoors.
Nice.
Many of them are in libraries or
Right.
restaurants or senior centers, and Rest Stop Ranch is in the beautiful outdoors where people can heal from being in nature.
Yeah.
Good.
And
Nice.
we've made a priority of planting roses in our garden. And I see the roses here on your table, Judy. Yeah, we don't quite have the green rose yet, though.
Okay, well, maybe some experiment or something.
Yeah.
So,
40 of our rose shrubs are wheelchair accessible.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And Mary, can you please tell us what was going on in your life in 2009?
Sure. So my mom passed away in 2008, and I had to give up everything to be her care partner. We moved to the property in February 2009, and I was totally shell-shocked, Judy. I had altered everything in my life to be a care partner. And when that role ended, I truly didn't know what to do with myself. I had given up my corporate job at that point. And to be perfectly honest with you, my brain was totally fried from making all those hard decisions that I, at the age of 35, hadn't been schooled upon. And my stress for 18 months, chronic stress, really gave me some health impacts. I was totally PTSD, post-trauma stress disorder, when I moved to the property. And as many people know, in a grief process, you experience shock. You experience depression. You experience anger and questioning and all of these different mixed things, and not in any particular order. I was angry that the dementia care experience nearly killed me at the age of 35. And when I say that, it's because of the fatigue that I experienced as a caregiver. There were many nights driving on I-495 here in the Boston area where I had to pull off the side of the road because I was so exhausted. I hear news stories now about people having car accidents or whatever, and it's just, I understand at some level how fatigue can contribute to consequences that we don't want. So that, where I was at 2009 is just recovering from caregiving, my caregiving experience, which was one of the most traumatizing. And then out of that, in 2010, January, I truly felt called by God. I truly heard the voice in my head say, Mary, if not you, who? Who is going to build wheelchair accessible gardens? Who is going to build a respite retreat center? Because I earned my master's degree in ministry 20 years ago from Boston College. It's almost like that degree and that intention I had when I was 25 came right back, very fresh, and said, Mary, you are called to ministry. Mary, you're not called to be a corporate worker. You are really, truly called to make a difference for these families living with long-term illness.
Okay, and Mary, can you please tell us the 7 different things about the gardens?
So our 10th of a mile loop, people experience 7 unique horticultural areas. They begin by going by a cut flower garden, then they go by a kitchen and roses garden where they can smell the roses. There's an Orchard Avenue where they wheel right by the fruit trees, the nectarine, the peaches, the apples, the pears. We have a pear tree patio now where people can pull off the loop. A beautiful 10-foot-long wheelchair-accessible picnic table funded by the Massachusetts Department of Developmental Services, who started funding our Memory Cafe in 2016. And people can bring their sandwiches and watch the birds at our Memory Cafe or our stroll events. And then there's a raspberry patch on the loop where people roll right through two fences of raspberries. And what I like to say is people can see the fruit, touch the fruit, pick the fruit, taste the fruit. It's the intimacy with the plantings that is so special about our garden. And then just continuing with the 7 things, there's a cedar grove and tunnel, and that's a shady area that we carved out so people can access inside there. And then it ends with a koi pond experience.
Okay, cool. That sounds very nice and relaxing. And Mary, how is the Rest Stop Ranch ran financially?
Well, we're mostly family funded. We do have individual contributions coming in. We're funded now by the Mass DDS, Department of Developmental Services, for our Memory Cafe program. And those are the main sources of funding.
Right. And what if someone would like to volunteer?
Oh, well, we're trying to recruit volunteers now. We have 4 areas of volunteering. We need help in our office with outreach, mailings, those types of things. We need help with outreach, people posting flyers. Maybe they want to just post our notice on their Facebook. That would be a great help. We have horticultural volunteers who come when their schedule allows. And we also have the program volunteers at the Memory Cafe and the Sunday strolls. So those are 4 areas where we need volunteers.
Great. And Edith, if someone would like more information, can you please give us your contact info?
Well, reststopranch.com, and it's rest for the website. It's rest-stop-ranch.com.
Okay.
And that is in Topsfield. I don't know if we even mentioned that the ranch is located in
right,
Topsfield,
right.
Massachusetts,
Yep.
and it's right off of Route 95 on Route 97.
Okay.
So it's just a mile off the highway, and
Very
we're finding
convenient.
that the guests that come to visit, many are coming from even an hour's drive away.
Wow.
People are so happy with the experience there and experience such healing energy.
Yeah.
That's great.
And just to
Okay.
be clear for your listeners, we're not a place that's open Monday through Friday. We really are a place that's just offering these programs, and they're on our events calendar. The individual support is by appointment with me. The group support is offered twice a month. The Memory Cafe is going to be moving indoors now. We're partnering with the Topsfield Trinity Church for 5 months and their Topsfield COA. And I'm the director of the Memory Cafe indoors at that church space. And that's once a month also. And the Sunday strolls, our last Sunday stroll for this season will be Veterans Day on November 11th. And then we'll resume once a month Sunday strolls in April.
Okay, great. I'm sorry, but that's all the time that we have. Thank you both for all you do for those in need. I love to hear your thoughts and suggestions. Please send them to lifeissuestv@gmail.com. And remember, live each day to the fullest and celebrate life.
Bye, Janet. It's nice seeing you again.
you soon.
You look good, girl. Just let me know what I can do to help.
Well, to help me, she'd have to help every day. Every hour, every ouch, every time my wife calls for help. I mean, maybe she could help me make her lunch. But the crust, all the crust has to be cut off the corners. She could help me run to the doctor for the 5th time this week. Help me with the specialist and the second opinions and the painful paperwork about paperwork. Help me deal with how hard it is seeing my wife's name on so much paperwork. But this is on me. I'm the only one who can do this, like this, for her. Besides,
Take care.
we will. Janet doesn't like her cooking anyway.
Find support for your strength. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.